Hey, what's up guys, TechTine here, and I am back again with a brand new video. So before I begin this video, I want to thank you all so much for watching this one. If you enjoy my content, leave a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And also follow me on Instagram. I'll leave the link to the official Instagram page for this channel. Follow me if you have any questions. The latest updates for new videos and giveaways and things like that will be on that Instagram page. So yeah, follow me there. And let's go ahead and begin today's video. So in today's video, we're going to be reviewing this. So this is actually kind of a popular budget phone right now. And this right here is the Moto G7 Power. Now the reason this is popular is because of that name, the Moto G7 Power. Now the word power really stands within the battery of this phone, and which we will discuss further. But first of all, let's go ahead and talk about the design itself. And let's go ahead, since we're on the front, let's go ahead and start with this display. So this right here is a 6.2-inch HD Plus display, and display right here is really good. It does have cons, but I'll discuss them in a second. One, the colors are good. The overall the balance of the display is good. So as far as the cons for the display, there are two major ones. The first one is that it doesn't really get that bright. It gets decently brown. It gets decently bright, don't get me wrong, but that's only if you're indoors. If you're outside and the sun is out and bright, then good luck seeing your phone outside. The other con that I have, which at this point, I mean, hey, you just have to live with it, is the notch. So whether you like it or hate it, it's there. You're just gonna have to get used to it if you're in the market for something like this. And to be honest, I mean, a lot of phones nowadays come pre-installed with a notch, especially the flagship ones. To see it on a budget phone, hey, I guess, I don't know, budget smartphones are making the move to the notch. So also on the front of the phone, you have your 8-megapixel front-facing camera, as well as your front-facing speaker, and this will also serve as your earpiece when you're making phone calls. And let's see, so on the bottom you have USB Type-C, and it does support quick charge, and you kind of need it with this large 5000 milliamp hour battery. And on the right hand side, you have your small power button as well as your volume up and down. Now as far as the buttons go, as far as the quality of the buttons go, they're decent. The power button is more tactile to me than the volume up and down, which do feel a little bit mushy. And on the back of the phone, as you guys can see, which I'll talk about also in a second, you have your 12-megapixel camera, your LED flash, as well as a fingerprint sensor. And really, I really like the way that Motorola did their fingerprint sensor. So they kind of slapped it right with the logo, with their Motorola logo. Kind of clever. Apple, take notes, I guess. I think that's what they should have done with the iPhone 10 instead of slapping a Face ID. Or with Face ID, they should have just put the fingerprint sensor within the Apple logo. Hey, that's a topic for a different day. Now the back is made out of plastic, but it's supposed to resemble glass, and you do have these kind of curved edges for a better grip. However, it still is a little bit slippery, and it catches dust and fingerprints like crazy. Like, it was super clean when I held it. Now look at this, just crazy fingerprints. So definitely, I mean, either keep cleaning it every 5 minutes or just slap a clear case on it, or whatever the case may be. Okay. Oh, on the bottom you also have this little microphone, and on the left hand side you have your SIM removal tool. Okay. And that's pretty much the story behind the design. Overall, a really solid design to me. It's not a flagship design, but overall solid. Now, as far as thickness goes for this phone, it's not really that thick. So yeah, I mean, when you say 5000 milliamp hour battery in a phone, you expect this phone to be thick. It's not. It's relatively thin for the type of power that it has inside it. Now, as far as specs go, this phone does have a 1.8 gigahertz octa-core chip, and it does use a Snapdragon processor. It is a budget processor, and that's really understandable for a phone that is under $200. Definitely see it. And also it does have a 32 gigabytes of storage, 3 gigabytes of RAM, and again, 5000 milliamp hour battery, which is really the story behind this phone. Now, as far as speed goes and the daily tasks, you know how we do it. Let's just do a quick daily task test. So the phone app, okay, relatively fast. The messaging app, kind of quick. The browsing, also quick. I mean, see what I think it does is that it shortens the animation to make the app launch faster, which is smart. So let's clear them out all again, and I'll show you what I mean. So the phone app. Okay, I don't know, for some reason the phone app is slower than the messaging app and the and Google Chrome. I don't know why, but it is what it is. So let's load up a web page. Okay, so really quick actually. The pinch to zoom, the scrolling, all smooth. So the daily experience with this phone is definitely an A+ in the budget world, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to playing heavy demanding games, it will still definitely get the job done. So keep your expectations at a minimum though. So if you plan on playing like, I don't know, car racing games, then you should be able to do it just fine. If you plan on playing like something like PUBG, let's say for example, then keep your settings at medium. Don't set them at ultra, because this phone is gonna stutter. It doesn't really have any flagship specs to back it up. Now 3 GB of RAM is nice on a budget smartphone, where you still see 2 GB, 2.5 GB of RAM, which is still disappointing to me. So I'm glad that Motorola have put in 3 GB of RAM on this phone. And that's really it, the story behind specs. Now let's quickly discuss the camera. So the camera on here is, like I said, a 12 megapixel back shooter and an 8 megapixel front facing camera. Now you have several ways to launch the camera. You can either just click on the camera app and launch it, or let's say twist the wrist, you know that Motorola is famous for that, and it will launch the camera app. And you have a lot of options when it comes to the camera. So you have your HDR, your HDR toggle, flash, timer, and what is that? I don't know what the active photos, I guess the mode that Motorola has. And you have this. You can even jump into manual mode. So in manual mode, you can control the focus, white balance. You have a timer, your ISO, and your white balance. So that's you have pretty cool options. Here's what I have to say about the picture quality. So let's start from here. The colors on this, I mean, I didn't take a lot of pictures, but I didn't think that I needed to. So this camera produces some decent pictures for the price of the phone. Just keep your expectations at a minimum. So it's not going to produce shots like the Pixel 3 or the iPhone XS or any other flagship for this matter. The colors seem to be a little bit dull, like they're not there. So as you guys can see, like there are a lot of shadows and the green just doesn't pop. And in the next picture that I took, let's see. Okay, so I try to take outdoor pictures, and this shot is pretty decent actually. The colors are definitely much better than the previous shot. So I guess in outdoor conditions, when you have a little bit of light, then you should be able to take some decent shots. Now in low light, this is with a flash, it struggles. It is what it is. And one thing that I found is that it kind of struggles to find focus of objects. So as you guys can see, I was trying to focus on this object right here, and it just missed it, even though I tried to double tap to focus. But for whatever reason, it still missed focus. And the front facing camera is not really that good. But like I said, if you're just planning on using it just to share your pictures on social media, you should be fine. I don't see a problem with it at all. Now, the one thing that I also forgot to mention in the design aspect of the review is that it does have a headphone jack. So for all you people who still use wires with their headphones, here you go. Two things are left in this review to talk about. One of them is the speaker and the speaker quality. So the speaker on here is impressive. One, it's front facing, and two, it sounds pretty good, and it beats out a lot of speakers that are in flagships. Okay, so as far as speaker goes, this phone has a pretty solid speaker, like I said. Definitely loud, crisp. Now, it does distort a little bit at highest volumes, but so do most speakers. And overall, so you're definitely going to get a solid speaker with this phone. Now, for some reason, whenever I launch the YouTube app for the first time and play a video, it crashes, and I would have to restart it again. This can definitely be fixed with a software update. See, you have so there's a software update now, and I'll do that later. And if it fixes the problems, I'll update you guys on my Instagram page. That's why you should follow me there. Anyway, the battery, which is, I think, really the big message and the big marketing campaign behind this phone. And the battery on this phone is definitely top notch. And Motorola, I mean, I don't know if you guys are familiar, if you guys are familiar with the smartphone game, then you would know that Motorola has been king in battery life. It goes really under radar, but as far as I'm concerned, for this phone specifically, the battery life on here is excellent. Now, if you can kill this phone in one day when it's at 100% in the morning, then you seriously need to go outside, because it's extremely difficult. I tried, I failed. And yeah, battery life on here is excellent. I can't really say that it will last you 3 days, depending on your usage. For my usage, I think it lasted me definitely 2 days, but 3 days for me, because I mean, I use my phone heavily, like watch videos, I don't know, browse the web a lot, and phone calls, messaging and things like that, and taking pictures. It's definitely, like I said, you cannot kill this phone in one day. So there you go. And really, that's really the story behind this phone. Overall, a pretty solid phone for the budget. And so yeah, design to me is definitely pretty good. Camera decent, camera decent, could have been better. The display is good, the specs are solid, and the speakers excellent, and the battery life are excellent, which those two categories are really the top pros of this phone. And like I said, it still supports quick charge via their USB-C, and it does have a headphone jack. So yeah, overall solid phone. And I'm just gonna end this review here. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, leave a thumbs up. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.